Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with The Last Huntsman Outdoors here, and today I'm going to be doing the full review on the Woox Terra Axe. So let's check this axe out.
This is an axe. This is an axe. This is an axe. Why did you even use a knife with an axe?
Alright, now I'm down this little tree here with the Woox Terra Axe. It's not very big, but the way the handle hooks is actually very surprising on how much power and control you can get with this. See if I could split some wood here with it. This is just for all the just using axe guys out there. Now obviously there's a lot of different ways to use an axe, and this is a small hatchet. This is one way I've seen to split a log with a hatchet. Let's see if I can do it again here. Whoops, that was my fault. Gonna do some delimbing here with the Woox Terra Axe. This is the tree that I just downed. Now to all the tree huggers out there and stuff that got pissed off that I cut down a tree, well, it's gonna get used. We burn a lot of wood around here, so it's not going to waste. A lot of branches on this tree. This Woox Terra Axe actually has a lot of bite to it. I'm actually quite impressed with it. Of course, when you start getting towards the end, you just start getting a lot more bouncing and stuff. Can't quite help that. Actually, I'll just cut that end off. All right, got the Woox Terra Axe out here. I'm just gonna make me a steak real quick. This is kind of usually how I make steaks when I'm out in the woods. Is I'll use either a large knife or an axe or hatchet or something like that. And I'll just kind of little knot right there. It was a little stubborn. Yeah. I don't get it too sharp. And then, of course, take you guys out here real quick. Now, ground's frozen. It's hard, but actually does pretty good work doing that. I'm gonna do just a little bit more chopping here with the Woox Terra Axe. This is a tree that I downed. Just gonna chop it into some shorter pieces. I know this is a hardwood. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Go ahead and down this small tree here with the Woox Terra Axe. Oh, maybe. There we go. All right, so here's the Woox Terra Axe. So first of all, I have to give a special thanks to Woox for sending this to me for testing and review. I was kind of curious of these since I seen them, but I didn't really see very much use videos on them. I just kind of seen the occasional blade show, shot show type of video on it. So it's 4140 ordnance steel, which I've used a few axes in that. Actually, the hardcore hammers hatchets are made out of those, and I was actually quite impressed with those from use. I've seen a few other companies use that for axe hatchet type of steel, so I'm actually fairly impressed with that. It has kind of a saber grind here. Now, right off the bat, I will say this thing looks a little weird. Like, it kind of has a futuristic kind of look to it, which that's kind of Woox's style. I kind of think it looks kind of like if the Cybertruck got mixed with a hatchet. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Now, they have two different variants too. They got one with just solid walnut handles, and then these are the micarta handles, and they are like milled out and textured and stuff. I'm glad this is the variant that I got. I really like these. It has a cool little lanyard hold down in there. Of course, a decent amount of flare and stuff. And it does also come with a leather mask here, or sheath, whatever you want to call it. And these are made in Italy. So, all right, gonna do just a little bit more chopping here with the Woox Terra Axe. This thing has a lot of bite really for a full tang hatchet. So something else to consider as well, there is no sharp edge on this to strike a ferro rod. You get like just a little bit, but there's just, most of the edges are kind of rounded off, which for a tomahawk I don't really mind that, honestly. I usually am going to gravitate towards a knife to strike a ferro rod anyways, However, sometimes it is kind of nice. Me personally, I think they have these kind of rounded off, but kind of not. So in my opinion, I think they should have just rounded them off a little bit more. However, the price point on these, last time I checked, they're like low to mid 200s, which for the quality it is for a full tang tomahawk, I actually think that's a pretty decent bargain. You know, something a lot of people don't really consider is when you're making a full tang tomahawk, it's all one piece, and so there's just a lot of wasted material all around it. And so you know, there's a reason why a lot of them are in that like $400, $500, $600 price range, is just because they're having to recover cost of material. All right, so something else I'm going to talk about here is the ergonomics. So this one, like I said before, is the micarta version, and it's a fairly smooth micarta with kind of like this milled in texturing. So right off the bat, I personally would have rather have seen these like a more coarser micarta. I think if they would have like bead blasted these, still left all this milling, but bead blasting them, I think it would have added a lot more texture. That being said, this thing retains in hand amazingly well. The ergonomics is great, especially like right here towards the end. It has like a lot of flare right there, and honestly, overall, I think the ergonomics is the best part of this. And while I think the whole thing performs really good, I think the ergonomics is just really good, honestly. It retains in hand, and it's not too round or anything like that, so it indexes well. It doesn't want to fly out of your hand or anything like that, so having a hatchet or tomahawk, you definitely don't want to have to worry about that. Now it does have this kind of little guard up here, and then of course if you were to choke up, you're just kind of grabbing onto bare metal. I'm going to try doing some work with that. Something I probably would have liked to have seen personally is I think it would have been neat if the scales came all the way up to the head, so you could like choke all the way up and kind of do some work. However, ergonomically, this is actually pretty decent. Like compared to a few other full tang tomahawks I've tested on the channel, like the Helm Forge, I tried the CRKT Kangi T-Hawk, and that's Ford recently too. I actually think ergonomically this is the best one. All right, I'm gonna make a steak from start to finish. So I'm gonna try to cut me off the end here. Cut me off a little piece right here. All right, making an end here. Sharp enough. Of course, we'll just test this out real quick. We'll whip you guys around. All the ground is still frozen. It's kind of nice to have some hatchets and full tang hatchets and tomahawks that has a hammer pole on the back of it instead of a spike. while I think the spikes are kind of fun out here in the woods and for most real world use, having a hammer is a lot handier. All right, so something else too to kind of take note on is there is a bit of skeletonization right here, and just from the balance on it, I feel like there's probably a little bit underneath the scales too. I haven't taken the scales off to verify, but just feeling it, I'm pretty sure it is, because there is more weight towards the head than on the rest of the handle, which is all right. I'm gonna try to choke up here and just see what I can do for some, like, actually it does pretty good on feather sticks. So this is not the out of the box edge. I touched up the edge on this, and so out of the box it was an okay edge, but I felt like it was like right there where I could just make it a little better. So choking up, it's not the most comfortable because it is a narrow piece of steel basically you're grabbing onto. However, the axe blade itself actually performs pretty decently. All right, so usually with a full tang tomahawk, I like to smash like a brick or something like that. I don't really feel like going all the way home to grab a brick, so I got a solid rock here. So we're gonna try that hammer pole and just see what I can get out of it. Little sparks. Yeah.
Little sparks.
Oh.
Wonder what is that?
So yeah, it did take a little bit off of there, but to be fair, this is a very hard rock too. So usually I don't do that. Usually I'll just smash up like a brick or something that you would see more in like a urbanized scenario. Yeah. All right, I'm going to wrap up the review of the Woox Terra Axe. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I like it as far as like just working out here in the woods and just doing woodsman stuff, and ergonomically, I actually think this is one of the better full tang tomahawks that I've actually even used. And I like the weight distribution on it. It actually feels like a hatchet. Like I've mentioned before, I think a lot of them just are kind of too handle heavy. This one actually feels really good. And I overall suggest it. I think this would make a great just bug out bag, get home bag, whatever type of little hatchet, or if you just want something small for your camping trip or something and don't want to pack something very big, I think this one would be great for that. It's only like a 13-inch overall length, so it's not going to be like some heavy use axe or hatchet or anything like that. It's just going to be doing some light chopping. What I think would be really cool, and this is a suggestion to Woox, is I like this one quite a bit, and I think this head actually has a lot of capability. What I would like to see is maybe one with like about a 4 or 5 inch longer blade handle on it, and just have it like the Terra XL axe or something that is just a little bit longer to get a little bit more power out of, but you could also maybe get a second hand on it as well. Well, with all that being said, be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless, and carry on.